Should I make things happen with will and intention, or simply surrender and allow the universe, and when to know which to do? It's Kute here, nationally best-selling author of The Magic of Surrender, and you are the one. Make sure you hit the like button below. Folks, we're gonna dive into this important question about manifestation and making things happen and surrender. And what do? Because they seem kind of opposites on the surface, and many people are confused which path they should take. What I want to say is they're not mutually exclusive. They actually work together. There's this misconception that we have about surrender. That surrender is weak, that surrender is passive, that surrender is giving up, that surrender means you just sit there and you do nothing and you lie on the couch, you watch Netflix and you chill and you eat your popcorn and like the universe is gonna show up at your door, Oprah's gonna knock at your door, Bill Gates is gonna knock at your door, $1 billion lottery is gonna float into your lap, and you do nothing. You don't have to exercise, you don't have to work out, you just surrender. And this is not surrender. People have this misconception about surrender, like I'm just gonna go with the flow, and the flow is taking me to eat 4 tubs of Haagen-Dazs. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and I'm gonna, the flow is taking me to sleep with 50 women. I mean, that's not the flow. That is simply following your addiction or biological urge. True surrender is power. True surrender is freedom. True surrender is the pathway to freedom. It's the most powerful thing you can do. It's the real secret to manifestation, right? You see, the ego-based paradigm, and there is a place for the ego in the process of living in manifestation. The ego is that which you believe yourself to be, but the ego is a process, not a thing. The ego is the vehicle that consciousness uses to navigate this human experience. There is a place for surrender. There is a place for ego in the process of living in manifestation. Now, you can manifest through intention, through will, through making things happen, through grinding. You can. This is manifestation through the ego. But what I have found is when you manifest through the ego, it will always be limited, because the ego is limited to past experience. And sometimes you might get everything that you thought you wanted, only to realize that what you thought you wanted was just what you thought you wanted based on who you thought you were, and your ego was so intent on making things happen that the thing you were trying to make happen wasn't necessarily authentically aligned with your true soul's highest purpose, right? And so the question we tend to ask ourselves when we're manifesting from will and personal power is, what do I want? What do I want? But we don't ask ourselves, who is the I? The real question to ask yourself if you want to manifest in alignment with flow and surrender in your soul is a different question. The question to ask yourself is, what is it that life is seeking to express through me? What is it that God is seeking to manifest through me? What is it that the universe is seeking to create and express through me? Then you should be still, align, feel, attune, and catch the vision of what life, the deepest impulse of what life is seeking to express through you. When you can kind of feel what that is, then you can align your personality, your will, your ego, your effort, your strategy, your marketing, your money in alignment with what is true. So now you're working in flow, you're working in harmony with nature, in alignment with God's will, so to speak. But now, surrender is you give 100%. It might mean you work harder than you've ever worked. It might mean you work 24/7. It might mean you don't have vacations. It means you give everything you've got in alignment with what is true and authentic, not just what you think your ego wants. You're not just trying to force something to be something that is not. But the key is 100% effort, no attachment. 100% effort, no attachment. So you go for it, but you're not attached, holding so tightly to the outcome that you think should be the outcome, that now you're trying to force something to be, because sometimes the goal that you think is the goal is not really the goal. It's just the necessary spiritual puzzle piece or carrot to take you in a direction. The goal sometimes is designed to take you in a direction so that you can go on the journey, so that you can become the person and learn the lessons that you need to learn, so that you can become the person that's capable of fulfilling the dream and vision that life has in store for you. So should you force? Whenever you are forcing something, like you're trying to make something be something that it's not, when you're trying to force a square into a circle, you're trying to force a relationship, it's like trying to force a ship. It doesn't work, folks. It never flows. Now, force is different than effort. When you're truly surrendered, you might sometimes have to make an effort, but you're efforting in alignment with the flow. It's like you're paddling. Imagine you're paddling in a canoe upstream versus you still have to paddle, but you're paddling in flow of the water and the stream. So please, don't think that surrender means you sit there and do nothing. It might mean, surrender sometimes means when you catch the vision of what is authentic, it might mean you still have to do and take the actions that you don't feel like taking. You may not be in the mood to write the book. You may not be in the mood to exercise. You may not be in the mood to do your homework. You may not be in the mood to take that action and make that phone call, but because you have a commitment, you are surrendered to a commitment that is bigger than your mood, bigger than yourself, bigger than your ego, you still take the action that you know you need to take because it's a commitment to a deeper calling than your mind or your fears or your ego. So you're still committed, and there's the difference. So it might mean sometimes you do things you don't feel like doing, but you do it anyway. So don't think that surrender and intention can't go together. It's just that your ego and intention needs to be of service to your soul. There is a time to act, and there is a time to be still. And there is a time to be still, and there is a time to act. And many times when it's time to be still, we're forcing and trying to make things happen. And when it's time to act, we're so exhausted because we try to force things that we don't have the energy to make things happen. Folks, if you enjoyed today's short video blog, make sure you share this video with anyone in your life and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll catch you soon.